guys, so it is Michelle again from the past, and you guys are in the future. In case you didn't watch Thursday's tag video, I have traveled from Manitoba to Ontario, and that first week I'm home is like chaos. So I am pre-recording this before I go, and then you will get this on the Tuesday. In case you don't know, I have the adoption home study first meeting on Friday, so Friday that just passed for you guys. I will be doing a video on that, but that will be next Tuesday, so keep an eye out for that. Today I kind of just wanted to talk about some things that have changed in terms of, I guess emotionally and physically with TTC switching to adoption. So first off, some quick things with TTC was very stressful, and every month was a worry about shipping and timing, whereas now with adoption it's kind of just like one step at a time and not really having to worry about anything. Also, I found that this is probably TMI, my cramps with my period are a lot less. I think with me, at least, with the disappointment of each cycle, my emotions were causing more pain, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? And just the stress and whatnot. I don't pay attention to my cycles as much. I know where I am in my cycle when I'm ovulating because of cervical mucus, and I know when my period's coming based off of my app, but I don't really like pay attention to, oh, I'm so many DPO, oh, I'm so many days till ovulation. Like, I'm not paying attention to any of that anymore. So that's like totally different than this whole like 2-week wait thing. I really thought that when I switched to adoption that I would feel like time was slowing down, because before it was like I was living in 2-week periods. So it was like 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. I was constantly either waiting for a shipment to come or waiting to see if I got a positive or not. So time was going by fast because I was busy focusing on that, and I really thought it would slow down, but really it hasn't. If anything, it's sped up because I'm busy at work. Now work's done. I'm going to be busy all summer. Like, time has been flying. I'm sure once I have my approval and then I'm just waiting to get a call for adoption, I'm sure time might slow down then. But it really hasn't when I thought it would. So some other things. So in terms of adoption in general versus TTC, I find that it's different that, like, with TTC, every month was like starting again. So you would get all excited, you would get all hopeful, and then you would be hitting a reset button and starting the whole thing again. With adoption, it's totally different because every time I make progress, that progress stays. There is no reset button of my period coming and starting all over. There is progress towards a child. Every step I take, I get a little bit closer to having a child. Whereas with TTC, it was like one step forward, one step back, one step forward. Like it's a cycle. It's a cycle of not knowing and not getting any closer. Like, I could try for 20 cycles and still not have a child. Whereas I know that I might have a long wait. It might be 6 years, it might be 8 years, who knows. But I know that every step that I take through the agency, I am getting a little bit closer. And even if I were to get a match and that match fail or the placement fail, I still wouldn't be starting from scratch. I would be just going back to approval and waiting. Like, there's not this huge starting again. Same with finances. Finances, I'm investing money in, and each step, it's not like that money's being taken back. Yes, every year I do have to renew my home study, so that I think was like $200 for me since I have reduction in fees, which is nothing. And then, yes, if I have a failed placement, that I will lose money out of that, but it really isn't a lot compared to all the money I've spent on TTCing between the supplies and the actual shipments. And when I was using an anonymous donor, I was using sperm bank, so obviously more money there. So it was different there. Also with, in terms of my community or my support system, with TTC I kind of had you guys, and I had like a few little friends that knew, and that was it. Even like my mom didn't want to talk about it. Whereas with the adoption, I'm like fully open, talking to everybody. I mean, I've talked about TTC now to people that didn't know I was TTCing at the time, but it's different now because it's kind of like, oh, been there, done that, done with that. Where it is the adoption, it's this is what I'm currently doing, this is what's happening, and so much more support because I can be more open about it. And I'm hoping that being open about it is going to lead me to a baby, especially with where I live. So just totally different. People understand more about adoption than TTCing as a single person. So I just think that there's more support in terms of that. Some other things though, with switching to adoption now, I find that following TTC is harder. Like on the Single Moms by Choice forum, I used to be in, if I wasn't participating in a TTC thread, I was at least reading it. Same with Diaper Swappers was the other one that I'm really into. Whereas now I can't even read it. I don't want to know. I don't want to see BFPs. I just don't want it. It's not so much that it makes me sad as it much makes me angry, if that makes sense. And like people that have been trying for a long time, yes, it's like, yay, finally. But there's a lot that aren't there, where they're just, oh, I wasn't even trying and now I'm pregnant. Or, oh, cycle 1, I'm pregnant. And just stuff like that I just don't want to deal with it. In terms of YouTube I started off, like when I started subscribing to people, it was like the mummy channels, and then I went to subscribing to the TTC channels as well, and I've actually, sorry guys, had to unsubscribe to a lot of TTC channels because I just can't follow it. It's just not where I am. I'm like, I've shoved that part of me aside. I don't like the drama of it and the stress of it, and just like, I don't know, trying to just, that's not where my focus is, so I don't want to pay attention to it, if that makes sense. I still do like to see the BFPs and stuff like that, so I do check in every so often, but it's just, I don't watch them daily or anything like that, just because that's not where my focus is, which I'm assuming all of you know how it is when you watch what you watch for a reason, and yeah, that makes sense. Like if you're a mom, you're gonna watch mommy channels if that's what you're interested in. Those that watch cloth diapering videos are because they're interested in cloth diapering. I don't expect someone that's interested in cloth diapering to be searching out disposable videos, right? Or for me, for instance, because I'm no longer going to be breastfeeding, I no longer watch breastfeeding videos. I focus on the formula information and the bottle information instead of the nursing information. So just kind of like a mind switch where I've switched to more, there's not a whole lot of adoption vlogs out there. I've switched more to just the mummy vlogs as opposed to the TTC vlogs. So that's kind of basically the major switches. The other thing is not having hope every month. Like when you're TTCing, there's that 2 weeks that you're like, what if? Whereas now it's kind of just, I'm just going through the motions to get to the adoption stuff. There's not this hopeful every month thing. There's hope at the end. Like I feel like I'm making progress towards something, which I find is more hopeful. I'm trying to think of a different word for hopeful, but more rewarding to know that I'm going to get a baby out of it versus TTC, where I would have those little bursts of hope smash down into deep depths of despair every month, like roller coaster of emotions. Whereas now I can just be on this happy little, I'm moving along on my little path to happiness, and that's it. But anyway, if you have any questions out of my whole confused little speech, please feel free to post them down below, and thanks for watching. Bye!